preparation, more than 900,000 part and full-time matriculants will sit down for their final exams from today. Issues such as load shedding, security breaches and adequate training of staff have been raised as potential stress points. It's also been the first year that pupils return to class without masks and other restrictions that were applied, of course, to mitigate the risk of COVID-19.
Yeah, months of preparation, some would say years of preparation. The Education Department saying that they are confident that they've done enough to ensure the smooth running of operations across the country. So this morning, Basic Education Minister Angie Motshekga will be on hand to oversee the process at Ellmaphius Secondary School, that's in Mamelodi, and that is where we find Newzroom Afrika's Tshegohaco Moagi this morning. Tshegohaco, great to see you. A big day for our matrics this year, and your heart just goes out to them. This is the class who, in grade 10 and 11, faced some massive challenges.
That's correct, Michelle. Good morning to you. This, of course, being the grade 10 class that was unable to actually sit for a full year of schooling in 2020 because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And as you've mentioned, even last year, them having to go through rotational learning. So this is the first time that this matric class has actually been able this whole year to actually attend school on a full-time basis. But we do know that various programs were put in place to ensure that these learners do well in these particular examinations. But to give us more details about their preparedness, I'm joined by Elijah Mhlanga. He's the spokesperson for the Department of Basic Education. Elijah, thank you so much for your time. So, of course, this is quite a big exam, taking into account that this is the class of 2020 that was in grade 10 at the time when the pandemic hit.
Yeah, that's correct. So they have gone through a lot of challenges, more than any other class that we've seen in the history of education in the country, where in their entire life at national senior certificate level, which is FET phase, they have never written a full-on exam. This is the first time that they're coming across that type of exam. Of course, we know that they went through preliminary exams last month, but that was their first experience since 2020. So they have come across a whole range of challenges that we really had to work hard to support them so that they are able to go into exam confidently.
How did those prelim exams go for this matric class?
Well, they went well in terms of testing the system to conduct such a huge exam in terms of full-time learners. But we haven't done the full assessment of their performance because we're preparing for this exam. So there hasn't been much time to study the performance. But in the few schools where we spoke to the school principals, they do indicate that they are concerned because they had not seen any result of the learners of any exam that they would have gone through since 2020. Basically, this class, they last wrote a proper exam in grade 9 in 2019. So they have not really been tested in terms of their academic strength until now. So we wait to see what the results will tell us when the minister announces them on the 19th of January.
Now, besides the preparations that you have put together as a department, there must be concerns on your side as a department just from what you've told us. I mean, these learners last wrote an exam in grade 9.
Yeah, no, we knew. The gaps were always known, so we put in place measures to support the learners. We created additional tuition time in the school holidays. They went through camps and we brought in specialist teachers who focus on revision, and we brought additional material as well. We helped them to use past question papers just so they see how the questions are framed, but also how to prepare answers for those questions. So that work was put in place, and the DG went around the country to monitor the functioning of these camps, and he says he's confident because he got feedback that they had done enough. But, I mean, it's all yet to be seen once the exams themselves have been written.
A concern, of course, every year is the issue of irregularities with these particular National Senior Certificate examinations. What is the plan for this year? I mean, last year we did see that there were some irregularities, but what's the plan that there aren't any once again this year?
Well, the last major irregularity was in 2020 where we saw the theft of question papers from a printing facility which was sold to some learners in KwaZulu-Natal and parts of Gauteng as well. But those people were arrested. They are in court as we speak. On the 5th of December, we're going back to court. We are following up on that matter, but we are using this to demonstrate to people that we will find you wherever you are or whoever you are and will bring you to justice. So that's on the part of the adults that are in the system. But as for learners, you have those usual attempts to bring crib notes into the exam center. Some bring cell phones, all of which is not allowed. But, they still continue to do that. But we've worked hard to improve the system. We've brought in state security and other law enforcement agencies as part of checking the readiness and the compliance of our storage facilities and the movement of paper. So they've been working with us. We visited different provinces multiple times to make sure that provinces comply. So in addition to that, of course, the learners signed the pledge and their parents signed the commitment agreement. So we're bringing all stakeholders on board to make sure that we avoid irregularities that could potentially tarnish the image of the examination.
All right, thank you so much. Basic Education spokesperson Elijah Mhlanga just giving us details about the plans that have also been put in place to deal with any irregularities with these particular examinations, but also saying that, they are ready despite the challenges that these learners might have had in 2020 and 2021. Michelle?
Yeah, well, certainly we wish them all the best. Tshegohaco, thanks very much indeed for them. They are writing their first English paper today.